Hello, this is Donovan Blackburn, and we welcome you to the City Manager's Report today. First of all, we want to announce, obviously, that Jill Fraley cannot be here with us today. We do have a special guest, however, with me, and we've got Commissioner Jimmy Carter here. Jimmy, welcome.
Thanks, Donovan. I'm glad to be here. I don't portray as well as of your other hosts do, but I'll hopefully Jill's getting better, and we're thinking about her.
Well, I've said the same thing to Al when we talked about doing the show today. Normally I'm not in this chair, and it's a little different for me, Jimmy. So bear with me today. But certainly the same thing. Jill's is a great friend, as you know, to the Pike TV set, and has done a wonderful job with this program. And obviously she's had some illness lately that we wish her very a speedy recovery, and we're anxious for her to get back to work, and certainly can fill the chair a whole lot better than what I can, and certainly more professional. So we do wish her well. On another note, too, Jimmy, just while it's on my mind, too, another person that we would like to wish our best to and a speedy recovery is Jack Sykes, the city's engineer. Jack underwent surgery yesterday with a condition that he has, and very difficult surgery. But his staff has been giving updates, and he has made it through the surgery and is actually up today and talking. And I think the comment is that he was ready to go fishing.
Well, I also have been getting the updates, and it's very uplifting to see how well he's progressed and how well he's done with his surgery. Hopefully he'll be back in Pikeville soon.
Well, I had the opportunity of speaking to him on actually when he was down at the hospital on Tuesday, and he's hoping, if all goes well, he'll be back at work and back in his chair by the end of February. So certainly, Jill and Jack, we wish the absolute best, and you're definitely in our prayers. And on another somber note, obviously one other thing we like to address on a couple different levels is a tragedy that recently happened in Newtown, Connecticut. Jimmy, being in a small community like we are here in Pikeville, and as the news has portrayed, this is an occurrence that could have happened anywhere in the United States. And certainly on behalf of the mayor and the city commissioners, I've received numerous calls asking not only what we were doing, but our hearts pouring out to the families that lost the loved ones. It's certainly a very tragic occurrence.
Very tragic, and something else, Donovan. They were talking about Newtown. They're a small community as well. They may be a little bit larger than Pikeville, but it's the same type of community that everybody knows everybody, and
Yes.
it's very sad. It's sad if it happens in any size community, but for some reason, with the younger children that were involved in this, it's just tragic. And hopefully, our legislators in Washington can do something to try to make everything a little bit safer for us.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly, Jimmy. It is sad, and certainly again those families are in our thoughts and our prayers, and we hope God comforts them and and in time will heal. I'm sure, but it is a tragic event, and on that note also, today we're taping on Thursday the 20th. Tomorrow, which will be December the 21st, not only the governor of Connecticut but also the governor of Kentucky has asked for a declaration of a moment of silence to honor those families that have lost loved ones and those that were lost. So tomorrow at 9:30 a.m., the governor of Kentucky has asked everybody to pause for a moment and reflect upon those that were lost, and also thankful for what we have in our great state and in our communities as well. So more than likely the public will hear church bells ringing. They've asked for one ring for each person that lost their life, so you'll hear the bells toll out tomorrow. So again, a sad occurrence. I would also state and let the public know that the city has been in very close contact with our independent school system. The chief attended one of their school board meetings this week. We have had officers placed at the schools just again for a sense of assurity and letting the public know that we are their first responders are there to protect and to serve. And then I met actually with one of the lieutenants from the fire department yesterday, and we are also looking at doing some additional certifications that would enable a first responder, an EMT, regardless of what the scene is. If there is some type of trauma involved and there is an unsafe situation, that they would be certified to be able to go in with the police department, because currently the way that it is, they have to wait until the scene is cleared before they're able to come in and administer. So there is a lot of things that I'm sure, Jimmy, as you mentioned, with our legislators, that will come out of this nationally, and it's a sad occurrence, but nevertheless one that we'll try to prepare for in our community, and certainly, again, one more time, we wish the families in that community the best. On a positive note, though, we've got so Jessica Casebolt, that it will soon be leaving. They'll be heading to Las Vegas for her, hopefully, crown. Our fingers are crossed. The posse has been putting updates out. I'm sure you'll be getting them on Facebook also.
And getting them also, yes. It's a great thing. And it's a great exposure for Pikeville and Pike County and the state. It's not many times you go to Las Vegas and be able to say on national TV you're from Pikeville, Kentucky. So
certainly,
it's going to be a great thing.
Well, it's uplifting to have somebody not only from Pikeville High School, and you and I have known the family for many years. Carol, her mother, has been a good friend of ours, Jimmy, as you know.
Yeah.
But they're just great people. I mean, they're just great, wholesome people, and we're really excited and not only for their opportunities, but just knowing the caliber of a person that Jessica is and her family is, at them representing our great community. I was very honored, too, that the Kentucky League of Cities also got behind Jessica. They put out a email blast to every city across the great state and all public officials as part of their newsletter, urging them to vote for her for America's Choice. So we certainly hope that all that works out. We're really excited to watch the pageant, and certainly wish Jessica and her family well and safe travels as well. So it's uplifting. Well, with all that said, there's a few things today that this show is going to be about, Jimmy, and as you know, we're ending our year. We're going into the 2013 year. Hopefully, of course, we've got the Mayan calendar. I guess that's tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
So we make light of, but there's been a lot of great things that's happened over the 2012 season that you've served as the mayor pro tem over this past year, and obviously the mayor's family has had some tragedy with the loss of his father and the illness of his mother, and he had to take a leave of absence, and you stepped in with your leadership and had done an absolutely wonderful job. But there's been a lot of accomplishments this past year.
Well, thank you for that, Donovan. And there has been. I mean, you look over the list and you keep us updated, and sometimes it's hard to believe what's happened in the past 12 months. But it's astonishing when you look at the list of things that's happened, and we're having an opportunity here to highlight a few of the things that's happened, and like a year in review. And hopefully next year we'll have as many or more projects to talk about as we have this year. This year's been phenomenal.
Well, and I agree, it will be. Looking at the list of things that you have me working on, it's next year, and the last several years has been no different. So today we're going to go through the audience and with the audience and show them, to your point, some of the projects that we're going to highlight. Obviously, this isn't everything we worked on, but it's some things that have made the press or people have some interest in, just to kind of give an overview of what those projects are, and maybe just a little bit of an update of where we're at with them. But before we go there, one of the things that you and I talked about actually over the past, I would like to say the last couple of weeks, but it's been discussed over the past couple of years, is the word transparency.
Yeah.
As you know, Jimmy, on the national scene, transparency in government has become a key word, and what communities and constituents have expected out of their governments. And one of the things that I'd like you to talk to briefly about is that how you feel transparency plays into the role of government and with you as a city commissioner.
Well, I think it's very important, and I think it's difficult for people that don't have an opportunity to come to the meetings to hear everything that's going on, have an opportunity in other outlets to find out what's going on in their government. I think we're very blessed with the city and how progressive we've been as far as throwing all that out there to everybody, and how many different avenues there is for people to gather information. As you know, majority of people today have internet, they have computers, they have internet service,
Yes.
and with our website, we've got everything available. And years ago, it could have been once a week paper is all we got in the city. I mean, several years ago, it was several years ago, but think about how that's portrayed. We'd only get updated every week, probably, of what was going on, but now you can do it every minute if you want to of what's happening with the city of Pikeville.
Well, that's a very good point because I think, Jimmy, outside of just transparency in itself and what typically is known as transparency, and that's usually minutes from a meeting or a bill list, it has evolved. And it's evolved through, to your point, social networking. I mean, right now, any person out there that wants to become a friend of the city can get live updates of accidents that occur or something that's going on in the city.
Right.
So there are key methods out there now, unlike there was when you and I were growing up, to be able to communicate to our constituents or to the people that you serve. So that's a good point.
Well, I mean, I look at what we've got, and I have an opportunity to do a lot of traveling with my job, as I call it, my real job. But going to these other communities, and spending time in these other communities and trying to see, and I'm always curious about what they're doing. But you go onto some of their websites, and you can't find anything. And I travel a lot in West Virginia, and in Kentucky. So I mean, just in that region that I cover in my job, that overnight trips and that type of thing, I try to log on and find, but it's usually just informational websites which is nothing wrong with that. It gives information as phone numbers on contacts and how to contact us and all that. But I think we're going to show here we have a lot more to offer our citizens to know what's going on in the city.
Well, and with that said, Jimmy, I think it's very important, and that's part of what we're going to devote the next probably 10, 15 minutes to, talking about transparency, is educating the public to what is available to them. Because a lot of times I think that, people, like you said a moment ago, time passes, you don't realize all the changes that have taken place and where we were then compared to where we are now. And Jimmy, I've told this story frequently, is when I came on in 2004, and you'd come on the year before, I think in 03, as a commissioner and ran again. But at that time, City Hall, we had one T1 line that ran into City Hall. We had two people that had email. And the one T1 line, it was simply to service the mainframe system where our utility billing and such ran into for updating purposes. But we were doing our lockbox drawdown, people that pay their bills on through their banks. We were having to unplug the fax machine and turn around and plug it into the back of the computer to be able to draw to take care of daily business. And that was only in 2004, so less than 10 years ago.
Right.
That's how we did business. The city, and again, I commend the city's position because we now have a quality. Steve Johnson's our IT director. Does a wonderful job, but we were ranked 4th in the state with our website a couple of years ago. But now all of our employees have internet access, have email. We've upgraded all of our systems, as you know. Our mainframe, when I came on board, Jimmy, in 04, was at 98% capacity. So all that's, and we've got, we'll never probably fill up the capacity of
98% with only 2 people using a computer.
So it has all changed, and the direction's changed, and if you look around the community, that's why the community has changed, because of that progressive thinking and the things that the commission wanted to do, which I've been very blessed to be part of.
Well, Donovan, we're an information society now. There's no way around it. You can't back into it. Just the way it is. People want information. They want it now. We're that. I don't know any better way to explain it, but the kids today, they can click on and find out what's going on anywhere they want to, and all their friends what they're doing. So it may have taken us a little while to get there, but I think we're there in a big way. So this is more of an informational, I guess we could say, to let the citizens of Pikeville know, or anybody else that's interested in what's going on in the city of Pikeville, on where to go to find the information you need at a click of a mouse.
Well, and the word, we'll use the word perception again, Jimmy, is because it is a powerful and important word, because with one of the things that we have to do, and we have to do it, I won't say better, because I think the commission has done a really good job, and the city has, is we need to communicate again with those that we serve to let them know what services are available. And I have said numerous times over in my chair as the city manager that there is, and I serve on the Kentucky League of Cities Executive Board. I serve on their insurance board. I travel throughout the state quite a bit, and like yourself, I see what other communities are doing. And I've made the very bold statement that I have not seen a community, a city, that is more transparent than what the city of Pikeville is. And if you look at the total equation, if you piece every piece together and understand what is available at a fingertip, to your point, then I think our point is not only factual, but the community will be able to validate that. So what I'd like to do over the next 15 minutes is walk through some slides.
Sure.
And kind of explain a little bit, Jimmy, what and how this information is available to the community. So we'll go to the slide now, the first slide, and what you'll see is a copy of the front page of the city's internet site or website. And as you can see on the left-hand side of the page, Jimmy, there's a lot of items highlighted in red and in blue. And a few of those I'm going to talk about today, and then we'll come back to some of the information that's available at the top of the page also. But again, in transparency, when it is a computer age, and I recently just got back last week from Arizona, and our whole trip was spent with my wife on her iPhone and me on my iPhone or iPad trying to figure out whether it was GPSing, trying to figure out what airport we were flying into, trying to figure out how to get a cab. So it is an age of information. And this again will illustrate what information is available to those. So again, if you look at the front page and look on the left-hand side, if you log on to, again, www.cityofpikeville.com, this is available. So the first item, if you look over to the left, I'll go to on the next slide, is the city's audit. And again, if you look at the first page, if you click on the audit tab, what you'll have is the audit will come up. And the slide that I'm showing now is actually an article that was in the News Express this past week. As you're aware of, Commissioner, this is your ninth year of presenting an audit to the city. It was an extremely exceptional audit. We had great remarks and controls. There was no significant findings. Everything was great. But our point was, and what the City Commission wanted to see is not just taking the word of the minutes and not just taking a small article in the News Express, but actually to put the audit out there for anybody that would want access to that. So people can simply log on to the website, click on the audit icon, and you'll see a full version of the audit. Okay?
And that's great reading, by the way.
There's a lot of information
for those auditors and CPAs out there. It's great reading.
Those that like numbers will be thoroughly enjoyed. The next column, and again, I'm going back to, and if somebody wants to log on the city's website, you can see these left-hand columns. I'm not going to, for the purpose of time, I'm not going to toggle back and forth to the front page. But the next item that's on the left-hand page, if you click on, is also the city's budget. And Jimmy, I go back to whenever we came on the commission when I was on 04 and 03. The city's budget was around between $17 and $19 million. It fluctuated based on various grants that we got in. This year's budget's over $32 million. So the budget has grown significantly over the last 9 years. The city is a full-service city, so we handle all utilities and all professional services and first responders and all those components as well. But the budget, again, from the standpoint of transparency, that you all approved, by the way, and another comment is in the name of transparency, as you know, we also advertise in the newspaper whenever we're doing our budget workshop. So as the budget is being prepared, the City Commission has a work session which the public is invited to. After the work session and the audit is put together, then there's actually a public hearing for the public to come before the Commission actually adopts the budget. So there's those different layers for the community to participate. And then once the budget is adopted, as you can see, it's also available on the city's website.
So there's a lot of, like you say, layers or opportunities, I think you could say, for people that want to be involved. and if they can't be involved, then they can still follow the progression of how the budget process works.
Absolutely. The other, and again, in the name of total transparency, some of the things that we do, and I'm going to show you, you made a point earlier about visiting certain cities and other websites. Here in just a moment, I'm going to show you some other websites. And if you look, and I went through numerous websites, Jimmy, throughout the entire eastern Kentucky area, and no, I couldn't find any communities out of any websites, again, that had their audit, that has their budget, that has what you're seeing on the page now is also our bill list. And what a bill list is, and you can see all the bills that were paid in 2011 and 2012. And those are put as soon as the commission votes to pay the bills and accepts the bill list, it's uploaded to the website. So what you see is every single invoice that was paid by the city of Pikeville and to what vendor and to how much that invoice was for. So again, this is readily available. And the next slide, as you can see, this is each meeting. So you can see the different date. If you got a particular date that you have in mind, you can go to that particular date, click on the site, and it'll pull up an Excel file that will have every single bill that the commission approved and was paid. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The other item that a lot of websites have, but the city of Pikeville has gone far and above, as I'm sure you're aware, is the city commission information. If you go actually to the top of the page and you click on departments, there is a department that says city commission. And if you click on this is just one example that you're looking at on your slide right now. It's got Commissioner Barry Cheney, and I just pulled the first one that came up. But what we have is each commissioner listed. They have the community has your home address. They have your email, your contact information. They have who your spouse and your family is, and an overview of the vision. So again, not only from the standpoint of transparency in what information we also offer contact information, and I'm sure you get those calls frequently.
It's not. Yeah, it's no problem finding anybody. Like we said, we're a small town, and that's what I like about it, and that's what I love about it, and love to hear from people on issues or whatever's on their mind.
Yep. Well, and then also, I went to the first one, and this is my ugly mug, but if you also click on the departments at the top of the page, every single department is available in the city, whether you're looking for public works, whether you're looking for finance office, the police department, and what you'll see is something like this will pop up, which again shows the picture of who the director, or if it's the police chief, the fire chief, the finance director, the utility director, you'll see a picture of who that is, and then to the right hand side you'll get all contact information. So when you call this phone number 437-5104 that's listed here, you don't get an operator, you get my live phone. Now if I'm not there, you'll get my voicemail, but we don't go through phone banks. We go direct, and the same thing with our email. Every department is accessible by email, or every department head. So if our constituents or people in the community or outside the community want to contact us, they have the ability to do so. And Jimmy, quite honestly, I average about 150 to 180 emails a day. So the people do use it, I assure you.
Oh yeah, same way with my work as well. And I don't get as many emails with the city as I do phone calls, which I'd rather have the phone calls anyway. That way, really figure out what's going on.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about, this is probably one of the most important slides, and that is the past minutes. Because one of the things, as you said, almost every home in the county has either a computer or accessibility to a computer. And what the minutes are a complete description of what action was taken at every single commission meeting. So again, since I came on in 2004, all the minutes are available from the creation of the city at City Hall. They're a part of archive record. We're actually in the process of scanning all them in so that we'll have them actually on disk for folks. But what we do have available is from 2004 forward, every single commission meeting that the City Commission has, the minutes are online for people to pull up, look at every action, all the discussion. So in essence, everything that the Commission talks about, everything the Commission votes upon is accessible by the click of a mouse.
And that's a very good point, Donovan. And how often are they updated?
As soon as they go online, and the slide we're looking at right now is from 2012. So what you'll see on the slide now is every single meeting that we have, and they go online the day after the commission votes to approve them.
I wasn't aware of that, so that's good information for me. But it's one of those things where if you want to know exactly what happened that soon after a meeting,
Yes.
that tells you exactly what happened during the meeting.
Yes.
So it's quick information.
Well, and it also tells how a commission votes. You know, if it's
Right.
if it's a 5-0 vote, a 6-0 vote, if somebody abstains, you see all the ordinances online, or not just online, but you also see them as part of the member of the minutes. So, you know, to overview just what you're seeing so far, what we have available to the community is, again, our audit, our budget, our bill list, all contact information. You have all the past minutes, and then what you're looking at now is something that I'm very proud of, Jimmy, that we introduced a couple of years ago, and that's our ordinances online. One of the things that we felt, as you know, as a commission, that from the standpoint of information, if you wanted information before, you had to call the city clerk, put an open records request in. It took them, you know, by law we have 3 days to comply, but it took them so long to find the information that it wasn't, to your point, instantly available. The ordinance online, which is what you're looking at right now on your slide, is the ability for anybody to go in. You can click again on the left-hand side on the front page under ordinances, and this page will pull up, and if you look in the top left-hand corner there, you'll see a search field. And what you can do, and I used an example, I typed in leash law because we get frequent calls wanting to know what our leash law is. So when you type it in, it's going to give you a directory that'll pull up that'll say all the different ordinances that have the word leash or the word law, leash law, together in. And in this case, this pulls up and it explains what an animal running at large and what the city's ordinance is. So candidly, Jimmy, if you look at the ordinance book, it's about 6 inches tall. You know, it's a very thick book. It's about like that, and to sit there and to flip through and try to find every single ordinance and every single law is just a hindrance.
Well, you know, it's also an efficiency
Yes.
piece to the puzzle as well. And you know, as I go through my job, again, my real job, it's all about efficiencies, and that's what we're really concentrating on now because you know, as everybody knows, people are downsizing, companies are downsizing, and government is no different. It's downsizing and trying to find the most efficient way to get the job done.
Yes.
Well, this is by far the most efficient way to get the job done as far as ordinances go. Like you said earlier, people have to come in. They say, well, where can I find this? Well, you have to ask for an open records request, blah, blah, you know, and all the whole thing, and it takes forever, and it's manpower, and it takes people from doing something else that might need to be done as well, trying to pull up records from the past. So this is what an opportunity for people to get online and find out what the laws and regulations are.
Well, and also to find out what their government, those that have been elected to represent them, what they're doing. So, and what you mentioned earlier again is if you look around the state and look at, you know, specifically Eastern Kentucky, at what other sites are doing, and first of all, let me say this very clearly. It is typical for most communities because there's a lot of cost involved of having an IT director, of having all this information updated, of paying for some of these websites, because a lot of things that I'm not covering, our website does a whole lot more than what I'm covering right now. You can pay bills online, you can get other information, you can fill out tax forms, and there's a lot of things that you can do. We're just highlighting the issues that is around transparency and the importance of that. But you know, I will say that if you look across the state, you're going to see some websites of local communities online. Right now you're seeing Elkhorn Cities. You know, these sites are wonderful sites. I don't want anybody to take anything out of context. These communities have done a wonderful job at bringing information to their communities. What my point is that the City of Pikeville and the Commission not only wanted to bring information about what's going on in the community, they wanted transparency as a key focus. So what you see is, again, just basic contact information. So still yet, these communities that have these websites, what they're offering is just basic information about the community. They're not offering their bills. They're not offering their audit. They're not offering their minutes. They're not offering their ordinances. None of that is available. Again, Elkhorn City, and my point is just to kind of show these are good friends of ours in these communities. They've done a great job with what resources they have. We commend them for each having a website up. But as you can see, there's Elkhorn. The same thing with, again, Coal Run's done a great job. And again, it's basic information about their community. They actually have some forums online as well. The same thing for the City of Jenkins, basic information, but again, none of that the items that we're talking about where the city wanted to go. Now, all these communities, as you're aware, you contact City Hall, and they still will provide that information, and they do it very friendly. And a lot of these mayors are all good friends of ours, and commissions, City of Whitesburg, City of Paintsville, again, all the same information that we're mentioning. City of Prestonsburg, again, the same thing. Contact information, contact us. So again, it's none of those icons giving that extra transparency. And with Pike County, again, Pike County Fiscal Court's done a great job getting information, contact information, tax information. They've got a lot of information that is readily available, but the City Commission has gone far and above in trying to make sure that the community is aware completely of what the city is doing. On top of that, and we're going to go here in just a few minutes into the year-end review, but let's talk also about the meetings just a minute and how, because there's different layers of this, Jimmy, that the commission envisions and how that they portray themselves from the standpoint of transparency. So not only is all this information available, you also look at the meetings. We're one, I won't say one of the only, because we're not, but we of course have our regular commission meetings, and pursuant to law, when a meeting is set, we meet twice a month, just like the county. We meet twice a month, the second and fourth Monday at 6 o'clock. Every meeting, I won't say every meeting, but 99% of the meetings since I've been here in 2004, we don't just have a meeting, we also have a work session. Why do you think that's important?
I think it's very important, Donovan, and it's good that we can do that before every meeting. It gives up a lot of different reasons why we need to do it and should do it. First of all, it gives the public an opportunity to come in, and like I said, you put the meeting schedule out for what it's going to happen in the meeting. So, having that, we can come in, know what's going to be presented at the meeting, right, and we can discuss it, and we can discuss our pros and cons, and if I won't say argue, but discuss what goes on. So
it happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it's not all peaches and cream, I guess you could say, but it gives us an opportunity as a commission as a whole to sit down and discuss the issues that's going to be brought forward for a vote. Like I said, we have people, we have come in, we have residents come in. We've had, not all, occasionally they do come in. The press is always there, the Absolutely. Newspaper, the radio, sometimes the TV's there, depending on what's going on. But it's an opportunity for us before we go into the meeting and to be able to know what's being presented and discuss it. Now, yeah, we're probably going to discuss or talk about other things during the meeting too, maybe with that, so we can make sure that everybody that's in the audience understands, what exactly is going on. But this helps speed up the meetings to where they're not so long. And to be frank, I think it's just a good idea to discuss this beforehand, so we don't have the long drawn out meetings, and so people that do want to come don't have to sit through longer meetings.
Well, the other benefit that I see to it also, Jimmy, is that it's more of an informal setting. When somebody comes in and the commission is sitting up on the stage looking down at somebody behind a podium, this is an opportunity for somebody to come and sit around a table with the commission and discuss it more in detail, and if there's issues that needs to go back and forth, you can roll plans out on the table and explain what those are. So there's a lot of work that's done in the work sessions that then rolls over, to your point, into the formal regular meeting. Right. And then we also have, whether it's a city attorney or the UMG or the engineer, they get again the opportunity to bring it in and putting up on the flat screen TV of what the items that they want to show visual. And then, again, to your point, is that the media is always there. One of the things that I mentioned is that I put out not just the law mandates that if we have a special meeting that I have to notify the press 24 hours prior to the meeting. A regular meeting, you're not obligated to do so. However, we do. Every single meeting that we have, we send an agenda out with all the items of the work session and all the items also that will be covered in the regular session to the media, usually the Thursday or Friday before the Monday meeting. And then if there's an item that's updated, then we go ahead and do a revised agenda and send it to them if it's 2 hours before the meeting, to make sure that they have an understanding, the press has an understanding of what all is going to be discussed and what all is for, again, the point of full disclosure. So, again, when you look at all the information that's available on the web, and then you look at the meetings we notify the press. We have the work sessions for each meeting. the media covers every single. They have never missed a meeting. They cover every single work session. They cover every single regular meeting. They then stay after the meetings and ask open-ended questions. They do a great job at reporting on the things that people have interest in. And then if the other thing that I've had a policy that the commission, I remember when you all interviewed me, Jimmy, years ago, is that anytime there's an issue, I also make myself readily available to the press. And and there's a joke that goes around. I know that you're smiling when I sit there and say it, that if you're going to ask me something, I'm going to tell you, and probably give you more information than you want. But the press knows my policy is if they call me that day, they will get a return call, whether it's day or night or whether I'm on vacation. And they call me frequently. There's not a vacation I've ever taken that I haven't got a call from the media asking about a certain incident, a certain situation. And we're more than happy to do that. That's what we get paid to do, or I get paid to do, and it's what you do to represent your community. So we're happy to do so. And then the other component of this is what we're doing today, is Pike TV for transparency. Having all that information online, having the work sessions with the media there, which are all open meetings. The public's always open to every work session and to every regular meeting and special meeting. And then on top of that, we do these type of segments on Pike TV where the city commissioners, you have yourself and Commissioner Cheney that come down with a member of the media that interviews the Wednesday after the Monday meeting. And they ask you any question, open-ended, nothing's scripted. It's all based upon your all's vision. And where that came from originally, as I'm sure you recall, is that if you look at what the legislators do in legislative session, they have a person that comes at the end of session and just gives an overview of what took place. Because candidly speaking, if you had somebody had to sit behind a TV and watch 2.5 to 3 hours of listening to us read these ordinances that sometimes we don't want to be there for.
Of course, you have to read them out loud.
Yeah.
So if you like hearing the ordinances being read, you can read them online.
and really jump to the chase.
And not have to listen to Rusty Davis or yourself read the ordinances. So it's a win-win. Trust me.
Well, so so all the way around, when you look at what the city is doing, and then of course we have this venue today. My report is different than what the City Commission does. The City Commission talks about why you passed ordinances or what went on in the commission meetings and why you thought that way. So it gives the public an opportunity of hearing firsthand from a commissioner why and what the commission did. And then, of course, the city manager's report. I come on with Jill, and we talk about projects, we talk about programs, we talk about things that's going on in the community. We talk about opportunities and things that are available, such as, again, the internet site, such as Pike TV. So, we're extremely proud of what we have done in the name of transparency. The media has acknowledged that we've done a great job from the standpoint of turning over any time they've ever needed information. We've been, as I mentioned, the state of Kentucky acknowledged us as the 4th best in the state from the standpoint of our website a couple of years ago. So I don't think, again, Jimmy, I'll stand behind the statement that there's not another community that is more transparent in offering information available to those that we serve.
Absolutely, and if we're the 4th best, I want to see the other 3 because they've got to be something else. Because I feel good anytime anybody says that they've gone to our website in the city. You can do anything, and I'm just thinking all the things. And I know we're talking about transparency, but the other things. I mean, if you've got a street light out beside your house, you can go online on the city's website and fill out the form, and it goes to AEP, and you get your street light fixed, or a pothole, or just anything. So it's very user friendly. Trust me, if I can do it, anybody can. I've reported street lights out, and they get fixed. So it's amazing how it works, but it does work.
Well, it's an age of information, and the community has done a great job at participating with us. If you look at our friends on Facebook, as I mentioned, and if you haven't, folks, if you're out there listening to us and you're a citizen of Pikeville or you work within the community, I urge you become one of our Facebook friends, because anytime there's an accident or we're detouring traffic or weather conditions that we get updated on before, because we got a special weather service. All that information goes out with a blast on Facebook, and people get it there first before they get it through any other media source. So it's a great tool, along with all the other things that are available, and hopefully the community will continue to utilize them and appreciate them because that's why they're there. It's for those folks. And again, I echo, there's a lot of other communities out there and other members of government that also do a wonderful job. They just do it a different way.
Right.
Not that they're right or we're wrong, or not that we're wrong or they're right. They do the right thing. We're in an age, as I mentioned, where transparency has been a key word, and obviously it's been discussed, nationally for the past couple of years, especially. But we just wanted to make sure that we did our job, Jimmy, and to communicate to the public as up to what our process is, so we don't create a poor perception that this information isn't readily available. So we greatly appreciate it, and appreciate all that the Commission has done to make this happen. So let's talk about some fun stuff now, and not that isn't fun stuff. We needed to educate the community on what all is available to them. But this past year, we mentioned earlier, we're going to take probably the next 15, 20 minutes talking about 2012. I keep saying this year after year, Jimmy, well, let me restate that the Commission keeps telling me year after year, we're going to slow down and let you take a little bit of a break, you and your staff.
And don't see it happening.
It's never. You all for 9 years you've not been up front with me there, because every time I turn around I'm getting pulled in and said we've got another project that we need to pursue. And I say it jokingly. Obviously, this community is very progressive. This Commission does an unbelievable job. I don't just say it because of one sitting here. But we've got great leadership and guys that, and I will be candid with people. They don't always agree. You all don't, but you do it. When you disagree, you do it with respect for one another. I admire that. And because of that, our community has been recognized as one of the most progressive communities in the state of Kentucky. Nobody that doesn't come here doesn't acknowledge all the building and all the construction and all the advancement in a downturn economy that we've been very blessed to have. But it doesn't come without a lot of hard work, a lot of vision, and a lot of cooperation amongst the leadership. So, and I had the opportunity, I'll make note of this real quick, I met with our new Commissioner-elect, Commissioner Coleman, Jerry Keith, who great guy. I know we both had the opportunity of talking to him, but we had about a 2-hour powwow the other day just talking about all the things that are going on, and his he smiled at me and said my head's spinning. He said, he's really excited. He said he's going to do a great job and to be part of this team, and he said, this city has been very progressive, and I'm very blessed to be part of it now. So he's a guy that I think this community is definitely going to be happy with. So
I think he'll do a great job, and like I've talked to him several times, and he said, I just want to get up to speed to everything. I said, well, it's going to take a little while because there's a lot to get up to speed on. There's just a lot going on. So, but once you get in the groove, I told him I think he's going to do a great job.
Well, he will, and he's got a lot of great vision as well, and again, the great spirit of cooperation, and he's really eager and excited to get going. So his first meeting, he actually officially takes office January 1. He's already been sworn in, but he'll take office, and I think our first official meeting that he'll be there will be a special call meeting that we'll have on January the 7th, and of course that's to pursue our comprehensive plan, which is one of the things we're going to talk about here. And as I said, we're going to go through these slides relatively quick. Just again, educating people to what has went on through the 2012 season. The first item up is, of course, the retail development. This was a major win, as you know, Jimmy, for the community. It's probably one of the most talked about projects that we have worked on. And as you can look at the slides, there's a couple renditions of what is getting ready to happen down behind Walmart.
That's and I got some calls from some family members that live out in the county and want to know if it's still going, because we haven't heard anything. I said it's still on the go, so just be patient, and it's going to be a wonderful thing.
Well, and just as a brief update, as we told people when we signed the contracts, and all the contracts are now in place, the post office is doing their due diligence. We told people to be patient because it won't be until the spring, probably March or April, before that you actually see moving of equipment down there. But I did speak. Actually, I spoke to the developer yesterday. I spoke to him on Monday, and I spoke to him last Thursday. And he's got several deals that he has done, and he's already signed contracts, and he's working with the post office and trying to get the lease finalized. But everything's on track. He's really excited, looking at the apartment complex, and as you can see on screen right now. If you look at the bottom, and this is going to be a beautiful facility, something a little bit different that we haven't seen in our community before, but also offering a great quality of life for those to be able to pull more and more traffic into our community, becoming a destination location.
These apartments that are going to be built in conjunction with the retail development is just something it's so unique. And to be honest with you, I did see something very similar traveling with my mother in Durham, North Carolina, a few weeks ago. There was a shopping center that had the same kind of concept, and it's amazing. It's Durham's Duke University is there, and a lot of these college kids live there. With the development, with the retail development there, the restaurants there, and it's just with walking distance, with everything you saw, everybody out milling around in the complex. It's just unbelievable.
Well, and I would tell people to stay tuned, because one of the things that we're also working on hasn't been announced yet, and I think you're going to see another project fairly similar to this, maybe not of this scale, that will be announced in the near future also. So as you mentioned a second ago, things aren't slowing down. There's several other projects that are in the works right now that we're working on that will come to fruition very soon. Of course, as I go through these slides fairly quickly, some of the projects, again, we're just highlighting some of the things that we either signed or will soon start. And of course, the Pikeville Scholar House, our partnership with the county, the UPike, and several other leaders in the community are creating the board and working with a gentleman out of Louisville in creating this wonderful facility. So again, I actually just spoke to Jake Brown yesterday, and they will soon be breaking ground, if they're not today already, Jimmy, but it's coming out of the ground. The financing is all complete, and the project is moving forward.
And what a win for the piece of property there that on Oxford Avenue, being able to come right into town and have a facility like that on it. The property's been vacant or had some dilapidated building on them for years. So we had an opportunity to go in there and clean that up. We did, and now a structure like that's going to be sitting there. It's going to be quite impressive as you come into town.
Well, the boulevard's changing forever.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
And speaking of, this is another project. Of course, the city worked with the developer and the hotel owners. Of course, New Hilton Garden. The city, as you know, we brought utility to the site. We done a property swap. We closed down the alleyway. We worked out a deal with the parking garage. There was a lot of different components that the commission had to do in order to make this project a reality. And again, one thing I'll let the viewers know is that the projects we're talking about is only those that are directly tied to the commission or to the city. There's a lot of other projects going around the community that we're very proud of also that we just, candidly speaking, didn't have time to put on our slideshow for today. The next project, of course, is the hospital. And of course, it's really looking great. It's coming out of the ground. As Jimmy, as you know, the commission did the same thing. We worked with utilities. We were the conduit for the bond that allowed the hospital to get the funding in order to build this complex. But the hospital, obviously, our largest employer within the city limits, employs a lot of people in the county, a lot of our family and friends, and has really improved the quality of health care. And I just can't say enough about the wonderful things that Pikeville Medical Center does.
Walter May does a great job with the hospital, and what a visionary he's been.
Amen.
to take the hospital where it is today. Growing up in the small, and at that time it was a very big building, I thought, at the main hospital, when it was like a 7 or 8 story building, and look at it where we are today with the top quality medical care you can get here in the city of Pikeville. It's just astounding.
Well, knowing Walter May and their board, there's much more to come.
Would not surprise me.
Well, the next, of course, is the UPike building, the osteopathic medical building, which is a new Cole building that was unveiled this year and opened. Got a great cafeteria, by the way.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, they've got one of the best salad bars in town.
They do. It's really great, and it's a great place to hang out because you get a great view of the city too. But again, the city commission worked with Governor Patton and James Hurley on as a conduit to get the financing in place. There was some other financing that they did, but we've got a great partnership, and again, we're working on some projects with the university that we hope to be able to announce in the very near future on some additional great things that they're doing. So we're great with our relationship. Again, the Judicial Center, which is really taking shape, looks phenomenal. Again, I have the distinct pleasure of serving on the project development board with a lot of great folks. The judge, of course, Judge Rutherford chairs that board, and through his leadership and great vision, this is a facility that will be here for the next 100 years. Myself and the city attorney and the assistant county attorney, Roland Case and Rusty Davis, we were the three that negotiated all the buyout of all the property downtown to make this project a reality. So this has really, again, changed the landscape. It's going to service the community for many, many years to come, and it's something that our community would be very, very proud of once completed. And so will be completed by the end of the first quarter of next year.
Yeah, and what a building. I mean, talk about a courthouse. That looks like a courthouse. And that's a strong statement there for a courthouse, and what a beautiful building it is.
Well, of course, one of our favorite projects that you and I both serve on, which is on the Theater Building Committee, is the new Pikeville Theater, which will be hosted by Jenny Wally Drama Association. Jimmy, you haven't seen this slide yet. Actually, no, I just got this sent to me last week. But if you'll notice, the actual old Dahlhair building has changed a little bit. Mm-hmm. They've done some things to try to save, again, cost, but still make it very appealing. And they've done the architect's done a great job. Again, the project will go to bid this month. It'll be awarded sometime in January, and they'll start working on the actual construction at the end of January with the completion of December 2013.
Well, I was going to say, I don't believe I've seen that slide before, but yeah, it's quite impressive.
Well, of course, and the other project that is undergoing right now is the funding is received and ready and committed is the new riding trail that we have, the Pikeville Riding Trail up at Bob Amos Park. We're building the stables and the trail that will go across Bob Amos Park and the backside and behind Island Creek. But for those horse enthusiasts, it gives them another outlet. It's handicap accessible. It's going to have a riding ring, so it's a great facility that will be, again, starting construction very, very soon.
And this is a project that, you know, I was always behind and thought it's a great idea, but didn't know how well it would be received. But I've had more comments on this riding trail than just about any other project, you know, equal. And you would think people would be excited about certain things, but this one has really taken off, and I got a feeling it's going to be huge once we get this thing open.
I agree. And of course, Commercial Air Service, working with the county, working with the airport board, and working with the regional chamber. The city was awarded $1,750,000 through two different grants. Again, we appreciate the fiscal court for their working with the city and the airport on this very important issue and helping us with resolution and getting the $1 million grant. But I had actually last week myself and Luke Schmidt, who is our expert in the field, we made a trip out to Arizona. We met with some folks. We've been to Nashville. We've got a couple of other meetings coming up. Matter of fact, I got a conference call tomorrow, but we're getting closer and closer with each step. We've opened several doors. We've got several interested parties, and hopefully we'll be able to make some announcements in the very near future. And then the other project that goes along with this, and I congratulate the airport board with, again, the leadership that they've got. A good friend of mine, Bill Hickman, is the chairman up there, but got some great board appointments up there, but they just got the $3.5 million grant that both the county and the city adopted a joint resolution on in order to support the funding for that, and there'll be a new taxiway that is being constructed up there as well. So there's been a lot of great projects going on up there. We've got an airport that we need to be very, very proud of, over a 5,000-foot runway and instrument landing systems, and just good leadership, a great facility that we hopefully soon we'll have Commercial Air Service.
Don, this is a great example of people working together for a common goal and getting it done. I mean, this is going to be huge when this happens. It's going to be huge for this region, not just Pikeville, not just Pike County, but the region. And guess where it's going to be? In Pikeville, in Pike County, and it's going to bring people here. It's going to continue bringing people here.
Well, and the importance of this is in the retail development, Jimmy. One of the reason I was talking to the developer, Neil Wilson, yesterday, was because one of the national brands that wants to build here wanted to fly a Cessna in and wanted to know what would the closest airport where they could land it is. Actually a jet. I said a Cessna, but it's actually a jet. Citation, I think, is what it was. But I called Bill Hickman up and said, this is what they've got. He said, yeah, I can tell them where they can land it here. So we got GPS, instrument landing, it's really accessible. So that's how people want to do business in this day and age. Everything, again, is quick and fast, fly in, fly out. So
Right.
this will be a great opportunity for us to attract more and more people into our region. And there's a couple of, we're getting close on time, so a couple of projects I'm going to kind of hit real quickly. This, of course, we just tested our early warning system that was put into place. That's all up and operational. We unveiled this last year, the Bear Fair with all the new bears. We've got 5 more commissioned, by the way, that's getting ready to be painted. Of course, the Hatfield-McCoy tours and a tour bus. Jimmy, we've had our cooperation again when working together with Pike County Tourism. We've had people from all 50 states and outside the country that's been in our community this past year, staying in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, learning of the story of the Hatfield-McCoys. Another we just got word on is that there's the new series that is getting ready to air. It will be announced very soon. So they've got actually a TV series that will be talking about the Hatfield-McCoy feud, bringing more and more height and awareness to this. And again, those that benefited will be our great community.
And hopefully they'll get the story right this time.
Well, we're working on telling that the right way ourselves too. So, and of course, we also launched the Hatfield-McCoy River Trails. The river trail system was named as a blue water trail. We offer now on kayaking and flat bottom fishing and canoeing. We offer during, and it will start back up in April. Anybody that wants to canoe simply can, you show up with your canoe down behind Texas Roadhouse at certain times of the day that's on our website. We pick you up, we take you to a drop-off point, we drop you off, and that way when you finish your float, you're back at your vehicle, making it very easily and accessible, and again, a great destination for tourism. Recycling program also, we received a couple of recycling grants. We've got our new cardboard baler, which we're trying to take care of Mother Earth, and we've got 3 new recycling centers that we just got in that we put in different locations throughout the city as well. One of the things that we're going to be focused on as part of our comprehensive plan is looking at different ways to recycle, as the commission has put that in my basket of things to do, so we're working with that as well. Of course, the Hillbilly Christmas in July, Randy Jones Memorial Park was unveiled this year, in working with the Hillbilly Christmas in July organization, a great organization. That park up there is designed for special needs kids. And it's just a phenomenal, fantastic facility, as you know.
I have to say, if you have not a chance to go look at that, please do. It's just something else.
Well, and right beside of the park, of course, is the new $1 million soccer complex. Obviously, both the teams this year had an outstanding performance. We congratulated them with proclamations and honoring them, but we also invested a little bit, another project into the soccer field this year with a chrome rubber grant, which made, again, the elasticity of the field a little safer. It preserves the grass longer, so it was just another enhancement to that complex. And up on your screen, I'm not going to go through all these projects, but as you can see, these are some other mentionable projects, such as the comprehensive plan. I won't go to them in detail, but just real quick naming them off. We've got the bond payoff and the refinancing. We were able to save the city over $1 million in doing that. The Foxcroft Sewer Project. We've got the Island Creek Sewer Project we just wrapped up and completed. The Peach Orchard Stormwater Project that's just started underway. The new sewer plant design. We've got the new 201 facility plan, which both those go hand in hand. The Thompson's Road Rockfall project, Thompson's Road Phase 2, and the new Rockfall project. And we want to thank Representative Leslie Combs and our other Ray and Debbie Keith for helping us get the money in there. But Leslie kind of took the lead on that and got almost $10 million between the two projects for us to address. And we've also got the riverbank stabilization that we just completed, firming up that property, making sure it wasn't going to slip because of the July flooding a year and a half ago. New contract with SMG, we were able to bring $115,000 back to the facility, which I think was a great move. Several capital improvements to the Expo Center, not to mention the Expo Plaza being open, the new Billy Johnson stage. Of course, we signed a contract with U-Pike for the men's and women's basketball program to be hosted out of the Expo Center, and just named our new police chief as well. And then we'll wrap it up, Jimmy, with a couple of awards we received this past year, again in conjunction with Pike County Tourism. We were named, the Cut Through Project was named as their only one in the state of Kentucky. Muscle and Main was named as a Top 10 Festival, along with received the 2012 Judges Recognition Award. And then Pikeville was named as a 2012 Playful City USA Award. And then, of course, I mentioned earlier the Blue Water Trail. So in a nutshell, that's a lot to cover in a very short period of time, but we're coming towards the end of our show.
A lot of information in a short period of time, but a lot of good stuff. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm looking forward to what 2013 will bring with the completion of these projects and the introduction of many more. So for myself, this is the City Manager Donovan Blackburn with the City Manager Report. And again, with Commissioner Jimmy Carter, we welcome you. We appreciate your listening, and we'll see you next time.